What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of 2 a.m. in Sweden, aka We Got Next. I'm one of your hosts of the show, Hayes, aka Shifty, with the one, the only Cade Cunningham, aka Steven, at Steven_Springs. Steven, how you been? How's life going? What's up?
Long weekend, bro. Long weekend.
Yes.
Talk about that later. But we're good. Spring sports right on the corner now. I mean, we're knee deep into football, soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did I tell you that I'm coaching Mason's baseball team?
You did,
Head
yes.
coach, yeah.
How's that?
Season starts at the end of the month, so we're kind of just getting started with it, figuring out our rosters. It's coaches meeting coming up with all the coaches in the league. It's so serious, dude, and I'm just not.
It is.
I think it's gonna be a great time. I've always wanted to coach, but not really.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all have, sports fans. I think we all have that little bit of coaching in us. We think we can do it, but we can't. So that starts at the beginning of next month, really. But other than that, man, we're working, grinding, and ready for it to be warm again.
So, okay, a couple of things. I guess I'll touch on coaching. I think that's probably the biggest thing I learned when I did coach. Some parents are just not meant to be coaches. Like, they kind of, one, they either yell at the kids. Two, it doesn't matter what level you are in terms of coaching. That does not mean you can just do it like the greats. Like, if you're even doing little league, there is sometimes skill, but then yet at the same time, if you have that stellar player, you're good. Like, I remember when I did it and all the other teams, they had so much strategy. I'm like, all right, you know what? You can have strategy, but I had these two brothers. All I did was reverse sweeps the whole time with them. And like, when you do reverse sweeps for like first, second, and third graders, they're over here thinking, why did someone else get the ball in the backfield? That was not the running back.
The parents thing is the biggest issue. Like with our baseball league, it is pretty much like our neighborhood.
Yeah.
And so all the parents, but for the most part, all the parents, like the kids on your team, and most of the parents on the other teams, so that's nice. But like Mason's indoor flag football league is through I-9, and I-9 is super popular in the area. And it's like you get this. I mean, this year so far, his flag football isn't too bad. But last year, bro, I mean, man, it's like the parents are just so aggressive for no reason, dude.
Every time.
Look, I get hyped when Mason does something good.
But yeah.
But come on, like to get mad at it, it's just and then those parents aren't as bad as the ones that are saying, why does my kid not play? Okay, like I get it, man. We all want to see our kids play. I feel that way sometimes. Like, damn, why isn't Mason touching the rock?
Yep.
But like, I keep my mouth shut because like, there's no need to yell at the coach because he doesn't get paid for this shit. And like, Jimmy Lipper probably isn't that good. Little Jimmy Lipper probably isn't that good. And we've all those are like the worst parents are the kids who just aren't good, but they want them to be. They want them to be good, and they're just not. And I see those kids all the time. Parents just don't get it. And you try and talk to them, you try and like politely tell them, doesn't get through because they want their kids to be good at sports. And like this early on for like, some of Mason's friends, like some they're 5 going on 6. Mason turned 6 in a little over or this month. But like some of his friends are just not going to be athletes. And as a parent, that's probably like dejecting.
Yeah.
But, we've all seen those kids. You've probably seen them more than I have. Because my kids are so young enough, but yeah, you did it for a while. And the kids are like at sports international camps. Come on, dog. Come on. That's crazy.
That's how they are.
That's crazy.
Oh shoot. No, that's the funny thing. And since you were bringing up sports, I kind of want to end up segueing this. So what we're going to do with this show, this episode, is we're going to do it in a growth way. So we started with Little League. Now we're going to move up to college. Two things. Number one, I want to bring up college basketball, because we're getting to that time of the year. You know, someone's birthday is right around the corner. So of course we do things during that time as well. But I want to first ask in terms of the top players that are coming out on the men's side. So you have Cooper Flag, you have Ace Bailey, you have Harper that's coming out of Rutgers as well. Then of course you have some of the foreign players. Number one, do you think this is a solid or deep draft? And two, do you feel as though there's one player you think can be well?
You know, I feel this way about the college, but not as much. But I feel this way about the college game right now, and like the draft class that's potentially coming out, as like I do the NFL, and we'll get to that in a second. But I think there's a lot of like high-end talent in college basketball. There's a lot of really good teams. Like Ace Bailey isn't talked about a lot because he plays for Rutgers. You know, I'm blanking on the kids from Maryland, that freshman, the 6'10" young boy.
The power forward. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I saw it. I didn't realize how good he was.
Yeah, but exactly, because he plays for Maryland, and I think they just got ranked like 2 weeks ago. So like, you don't really know about these guys. Like, you know, I'm blanking on also the kid from kid who plays for Auburn, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Cooper Flag though is nice. Cooper Flag is nice, and people are talking about he's going to run it back and come back for another year. No. There's this dude from Alabama, Mark Sears. I saw them play the other day. So there's a lot of good Dylan Harper,
Derek Queen.
Yes, Derek Queen. That's it.
Yeah, he's solid.
He's having a great season. So there's a lot of high end talent, and you're going to see a lot more of it because that's what happens in the tournament. You see all these guys that you don't typically see because they're not a top 10 program or whatever. But there's a lot of big names in the college game right now. Cooper Flag is probably, I would say, the best player in the country. I've watched a few Duke games, which I don't normally do. But I think he's really, really good.
And Johnny Brown.
Yeah. Yes. Give him Auburn. Yeah. He's got like 14 double-doubles this year. Penn State has a player. Penn State's not making the Big Ten tournament, which is like tough to do. You got to finish 15 of the 18 teams. So you got to finish dead last basically in the Big Ten. Ace Baldwin, Jr.
Yeah.
Baltimore guy. Was with Mike Rhodes at VCU, I think prior to Penn State. Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year last year. Leads the country, or like top 5 in steals. Averages like 9 assists, almost 9 assists a game. But like, you don't know about him because he plays for Penn State. So there's a lot of guys like that who play for like lesser teams, or just sneak in as like the 12, 13, 14 seed and make a name for themselves in the tournament.
Yeah.
A lot like Steph Curry did.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell everyone this because, as most people know, I try to go to different sporting events. But sometimes when I go to sporting events, I don't realize the hidden gems that are actually out there. Because when I went to the Rutgers University of Maryland game, College Park, I didn't go there for Dylan Harper. I didn't go there for Derek Queen. I went there for Ace Bailey. And then all you see is this one big guy on Maryland that is just going to town, like having a game. And then everyone there is like, he's a pretty solid guy. And I'm thinking, hold up, timeout. He looked legit.
Yeah.
But why am I not hearing about him? And then you start to look him up. And now I start to understand why College Park starts to have so many people go to their games. They have a top 10 talent that is going to go. And then like Dylan Harper was legit too. Yep. But because they play first, I don't understand. You know how much money Rutgers had to pay these two for them to go there?
Yeah, where did that come from?
Rutgers. There's no way. Same thing with, I talked to this one guy that knows about the dude that's coming out to go into BYU next year, they said the amount of Mormon money he is about to get there is insane. The number one pick in the 2025 high school rankings is going to BYU.
That's unheard of.
Insane. And then I was talking to him today at work. He said, yeah, no, there's like a lot of dumb money that's getting poured into him to go to BYU. So that was the main thing over there. Second, we're coming up on the tournaments, the conference tournaments. Number one, and this person watches the show, Steven, so you'll understand this better than anyone. So they texted me, women's basketball. They texted me saying, University of Tennessee is potentially out, not going to make the tournament. They're out of the top 16. I said, what are you talking about? They're like, they're not going to make the tournament. ESPN said they're not going to be in it because they're out of the top 16. What they were trying to explain to me is the top 4 seeds host in women's basketball, and top 4 seeds in 4 regions equals 16 teams. But they did not say all that to me in a text. They just said Tennessee's not going to make the tournament. I was like, they never changed it from 60 to 64 teams to 16. That would be the shortest tournament ever.
Who do you work with? I mean, honestly, bro, who do you work with? You're killing me with these people.
So that happened, but that was the main thing over there. I want to use this now to segue to the other side, to the scouting combine. So everyone, you like how I end up doing that? The first thing I want to talk about is the infamous, famous, aka Shedeur Sanders. What are your thoughts on the publicity that is happening, and also Josina Anderson talk about how they're saying Shedeur is coming off very arrogant and cocky and stuff like that?
I don't know why she needed to put that on blast.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that. Who cares? Like, who cares? Like, I mean, yeah, I don't think it. Like, he might have. He very well could have. That happens, dude. Like, people say shit all the time in these draft processes. But what difference does that make? Like, that's like, you're not going to impact his draft status. Like, I think everyone knows what type of player he is, and that's really what matters. I don't know. Like, he's Deion Sanders' son, you know. So like, people, we all know how I feel about Coach Prime, but people have their opinions about him, and I'm sure they probably think the same of his son and all that. But you know, I don't think it matters. I don't think that need to be put on blast. But in terms of the combine itself, my biggest thing, and I meant to ask Jay Hill about this, but I didn't. But he participated in the combine, right? He did all the drills, did all that. I think he did pretty much every test that he had to do there. But he was like, you know, he was drafted in the 3rd round. If he didn't do it and just did the pro day, would that make a difference? I don't get why guys don't do drills at the combine, but they do it like 2 weeks, 3 weeks later at the pro day. Like, unless they're like Abdul Carter was still working back from an injury. KJ Winston of Penn State was working through an injury still. But like Tyler Warren didn't participate. A lot of the big names didn't do anything.
Yep.
And I don't know if
it's almost like a trend.
Yeah, and they wait till the pro day. I get it; it's a more comfortable environment. You know, it's your people, it's your facility. You know it. You just feel at home, obviously. But like, I don't get it, man. And I meant to, like I said, I meant to ask Jay Hill why guys don't participate. Risk of injury, I guess.
That could be it. Not comfortable with the playing field.
Yeah, sure. I get it. Like, you don't want to risk that injury. You don't want to risk, you know, whether you're a 6th-round pick type of guy, you're a 1st-round guy, and you lose out on millions or whatever. It's just unfortunate because like, you want to see, and this doesn't like, there's still a lot of big names during the combine that participate. Let's not say that all the big names don't, but you want to see Shedeur Sanders out there, like letting it rip. You want to see that type of thing. Just to see how, just you know what it looks like. You know how good he can throw. Speaking of that, Will Howard looked like dog shit. His throw performance was terrible.
Terrible.
And I've said this all year. Will Howard's not that good. I guess I can't say that because he won a national title. But like JJ McCarthy wasn't the most accurate quarterback. Like JJ McCarthy benefited from a elite defense, as did Will Howard. But JJ McCarthy benefited from an elite run game with Michigan and like the best offensive line in the country. What's his name? Will Howard benefited from having the best receiver in college football, also having a great running game. So that helps. But he looked like dog shit. Is it like the risk of looking like shit, like missing a couple throws or whatever? I don't know. I always hate when guys don't participate because you want to see that. You want to see those guys run their 40s. You want to see those guys do the drills, the 3-cone drills, the bag drills, whatever it is. You want to see them throw it, but it's always disappointing when those guys don't get out there and let it rip.
So I have a question for you. I don't know if you did or did not watch this part, but did you see how they have the quarterbacks throw the ball as fast as they can at a wall?
Yeah, I saw that. I did not see it this year, but I remember seeing it last year. I didn't see it this year. They did it again this year?
Yes, and they showed Jackson darts. I don't know what that is used for.
Was it fast or slow?
It was fast. They even were showing it. But my thing is, number one, he threw it at a wall. It wasn't clean. So I'm just thinking, what is the point if it's not a perfectly clean throw?
So my only guess, my only assumption, and I don't know why I just thought of this, as to why they do it, but like this is like a football nerd in me. There's like those 2 attempts like per year, per game, whatever, where they need to have that velocity. They need to like sling it in there on like the goal line type of situation. I guess it's they're testing something about like that type of arm speed, and I don't know. I'm just kind of nerding out here with thinking about that. Does it seem like it's necessary? No. The combine isn't really necessary in any capacity. Like I don't really care how much my running back bench presses. We didn't need to see Saquon Barkley do what he did in the combine to know he was going to be an all-pro running back.
Yeah.
I don't even know why we even have the combine. Is it just like get those crazy numbers? Like, 6'5", 265 and runs a 4.4. Is it probably just to make the rest of us feel like shit too?
Yeah.
Like we're not the top, 0.1% of human beings on the earth that can go run a. If I got out there, dude, I'd blow every ligament in my knees, back. If you try to line me up and make me run a 40, I would immediately tear both my Achilles. Knees would lock up, back would go stiff, all that kind of good stuff.
So 2 things. Number one, did you hear about Isaiah Bond before the combine? So before the combine, Isaiah Bond said that he could run probably a 4.1, 4.2, and then he previously was clocked at a 4.23.
Yeah. And what?
He claimed he was previously clocked at a 4.23.
Yeah, and you ran like
he ran like a 4.4.
Yeah. Speaking of 40s, that dude from Oregon, Tez Johnson, you're in a 4.5, and he's like 5'10".
Insane. Like that's what they were saying. You are light.
That's so slow for that, right?
For your weight?
Yeah, you should be running like a 4.3, right?
Yes.
You should be cruising down that line.
Easily. And then they try to defend him saying, oh, look at his game tape. It doesn't explain.
I get it. But like part of his ability is the top end speed. Like part of what makes him the dangerous prospect is top end speed that he has, or that he showed in college. So like, the combine is not a game. It's not, a week 12 game in October or whatever. But nonetheless, you're like, you see that number, and everyone got it. Like that's what we ran, and you're like, oh, interesting. But you can't put too much stock in that type of stuff.
Yeah. So there are a couple. I'm only going to stick to 2. The first thing that I think people should kind of look at a little. I don't know if you saw Armand Membau's 40 time that he ran. Essentially, for anyone that does not know, This man weighs 332 pounds and ran a 4.9 40.
That's so fast.
He is a lineman for Missouri.
That's so quick.
I don't know when you're ever going to need that, but I promise you, whatever team he goes to and the running back is 30 yards downfield, my guy going to be there with them. That's the only thing that ends up saying.
Different breeds of humans.
Yeah, that's one. The other one is Tutton out of Virginia Tech running a 4.3.
Yes,
it did seem as though these players weren't necessarily as quick as previous years. I mean, they were all fast, but it wasn't that Xavier Worthy or that.
There's always the one guy that flirts with the high 14s.
Yeah,
like, we didn't. A lot of mid 4.3s, which is still obviously super fast. But yeah, man, I'm really waiting for someone to break the 4.1 at some point.
Yep,
I'm really waiting.
Yes. So that was one thing I wanted to end up bringing up. The other thing, and you knew this probably better than me, I didn't realize Ohio State had two solid running backs that are both going to end up going in the draft pretty high.
Yep.
And they're talking more about Quinshon more than Henderson.
Yeah, I get it. I think TreVeyon Henderson's probably better.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. He's like a J.K. Dobbins.
Henderson?
Yeah. And he ran a 4.3. He's quick. Yeah. He burned us a bunch of times. Judkins is like more like Ezekiel Elliott, probably. Bigger, I think. Not as fast, I think, but stronger. He was at Ole Miss before this. Yeah, they were both really, really good. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of the big thing there. Other part, I wanted to really talk NBA first, but I'll kind of make it a nicer segue and I'll go NFL. We have some trades, Steven, and we have some contracts to talk about. So we are starting to get some of the information. Number one, we have to give all the praise, flowers, and roses to Steven because this man drafted Saquon number one. Saquon ended up rushing for over 2,000 yards. The Eagles won the Super Bowl, and they said, you know what, Darius Slay, we do not need you anymore, but you know what we're going to do? We're going to give Saquon Barkley his money.
Yeah.
And they just gave him 2 years, 21 on top. So
he deserves it.
Every dollar.
He's arguably the best player in the league. Regardless of position, he's probably one of the 3 best players in the league, right? You know what's really great? I was thinking, I didn't know how to. I wanted to text my uncles in my group, in my family chat about this. And I don't know how to explain it, but Penn State is one of the few schools in the country that could probably have both in the same year, offensive MVP and defensive MVP with Saquon and Micah Parsons. Thought of that last night. I wanted to text everybody, but I forgot. I don't know how to word that. But yes, he's the best player in the league, and arguably could have won MVP this year. Maybe if he broke the record, he might have. But they won a Super Bowl, so it doesn't matter. He's worth every penny. He's what, 28? He's probably got, hopefully 5 or 6 more years left. But let's be honest, he's a running back, so maybe 4. Maybe not even that. But they're gonna their window's open. Their window's wide open right now for the Eagles.
Yes, absolutely.
Keep everybody, obviously, but you got to keep those guys, those game changing players, and they're going to. The Chiefs have kept Travis Kelce over everybody else for the entirety of their career so far. Why? Because he's a game changing player. He's one of the best players in the league. Saquon's the same way. Jalen Hurts, they have to ride that out completely. You can't mix that up. But you can get new receivers, you can get new tight ends, whatever. But that duo right there is going to be, got to keep them both for a long time, and they are.
Yeah.
At least for the next 2 seasons. I'm sure Saquon will get another fat contract right after that.
Yeah. So that was kind of the big thing I want to talk. Shout out. Yeah, because Micah's going to get some sort of money. The other one they're talking about is, where's Myles Garrett going to go? Because he's going to end up getting paid.
Shout out to Detroit, man. Shout out to Detroit, the Pistons, the homies, Lions.
So I got an only in sports moment after I talk about this player's teammate. Deebo Samuel going to the Commanders. I was telling people, I don't know why I knew it wasn't going to be a first when I first heard it. They, of course, when you're at a bar, they don't show it. I was like, maybe it'll be a second or a fourth or like a third and a fifth. It was just a fifth.
Man, that like I don't know what that means. You know, like that has to. It's got to tell you that San Fran's like, whatever, dude. Like, go and take him.
They just wanted him gone.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Again, just nerding out and probably overthinking it, but like, there's got to be something going on behind the scenes, right?
Clearly, for you to just get him out there like that.
5th-round pick for one of the more versatile players in the league, and a guy who was, hurt at times, I guess, but he was one of those game-changing players, and you just gave him away for a 5th-round pick. That's kind of nuts.
Yeah. So that was one thing. The other thing is only in sports with this one, Steven. Brock Purdy. Did you hear what their starting offer for him per year is? No. And they're saying they're playing hardball.
No.
$45 million a year.
That's crazy.
That's the starting conversation.
Bonkers.
And they're saying, oh, they're playing hardball with this.
Oh, man. What are these teams doing, bro? Why are you paying Brock Purdy at least, you said 45?
$45 million a year is their starting.
That's insane. That's way too much money. There's a few players that are worth that in the league, and he's not one of them.
And the crazy part just about this is that's nowhere near what the top players are getting. Top quarterbacks are getting paid.
Right. And it's just gonna keep going up. But Brock Purdy, now you don't have. Are you really like? Do they really think that Christian McCaffrey's gonna stay healthy for the next couple seasons?
That's what I'm saying.
Right, and you just traded away and George Kittle. You think he's gonna be healthy for the next handful of seasons? Like maybe.
Yeah, no.
Like he's having worse. Like how many more seasons? It's like they had a window, right? They started dropping like flies though. Those guys, that team started just falling apart with injuries. The injuries are tough, dude. Like which linebacker? Greenlaw. Terrence
yeah.
Hate to see that. That's tough. This happened with Seattle with the Legion of Boom. Like guys get injured, contracts, all this stuff. Window closed like that when it was supposed to. Seattle's window was open for a hot second.
It was,
and now San Fran, the windows closed when they had Cap and Patrick Willis and Vernon Davis and all those dudes closed for a hot second. They got it right back. Brock Purdy is I'm not saying he's trash, but he's a very solid quarterback. They had George Kittle, one of the better tight ends in the league. They had Deebo Samuel, one of the better weapons in the league. McCaffrey, I know injuries happen, but you still had a little bit left, and maybe another run in the NFC. And then again, McCaffrey with that fake ass Achilles,
dog.
Come on, really the Achilles for a running back? I hope he stays healthy, but that never works out well.
Now it's tough for him. Both legs got stuff.
Again, ACLs are different. Saquon towards ACL, he's come back. Players have done it before. Achilles is totally different. It's so I don't know. Trading for a 5th-round pick, that seems kind of light, but there's obviously something else going on behind the scenes that no one's gonna find out about.
Easily. So you brought up injuries, and I'm glad you brought that up. Before I get to the injury part, I do want to say that since the scouting combine is over with, we got about 2 weeks before the whole NFL free agency stuff starts officially. Of course, you had that tampering time frame that's a little bit before. So that's when things start to heat up. This is an exciting time because we have the scouting combine. Now we have free agency. Next, we have the draft. After the draft, you have OTAs and stuff, and then you're right back in the cycle. But you brought up injuries. I didn't. We got to go to the famous team with all the injuries themselves. In the NBA, we got a call in from Dallas because first you had AD. Then you had Gafford that got injured. Now, Kyrie, and you texted me it. I saw the picture, and you're like, does not look good at all. You saw it. He went to the line, but you could kind of tell every single doctor online was having a field day because they said you saw the quad, like you saw it was a non-contact. You knew it was going to be, but they got to hope and pray. Maybe it's something light and like a hyperextension. No, done. Like torn ACL. And now it's Clay's team.
Yeah. Yeah. 36-year-old Klay Thompson.
Rumors are swirling that they're, like you said, they're just going to shut down Anthony Davis for the season.
Look, AD came back too early from that injury and just re-aggravated it, made it worse. He's supposed to come back in a couple weeks, I think. Kyrie, it's March, so like he can still probably make it back for next season, but like when, and he's already hurt his knee before.
This is like
he's not getting younger. And AD, man, it sucks because I think that would be an extremely good duo to have. And they're both late in their careers or getting late in their careers, but it's kind of like, man, that would have been a sick duo. Like, we're gonna look back on that. Well, the nerds will. Like, I'll look back on that and a couple of seasons and a couple of years and down the line. But man, because this is gonna be brought up all the time. Like, this is always gonna be brought up that the Mavs fucking traded Luka Doncic. How is that possible?
They did.
I still cannot believe that. I don't think
just went so south.
And I don't think I'll ever get over that. And have you been watching the Lakers, bro? They are fucking killing.
Number 2.
They have not even figured it out yet. And you still got Luka not shooting well. Like, he's not shooting great, but like he's still averaging 27 a game. Like, he's grabbing the boards, he's doing the assists. I was listening to or I saw the clip of KG and Paul Pierce talking about this. And like, who do you trust in the league? And we talk about this, like, in the West, like who looking at these standings in the West. OKC obviously number 1. Like, do I trust the Thunder? Not really. I know Shea is a good player, but like they start talking about your second best player, and it's like you look at the Lakers, like, is this going to become Luka's team? And like LeBron's going to be your second best player. Like, is LeBron James really going to be your second best player? And they just looked at each other and started laughing because they're like, LeBron's your second best player, and you work through Luka, and you have LeBron playing off ball. I mean, the West is in trouble. Like, Denver, you got obviously
he's been there 40.
Huh? Yeah, he's 40. That's nuts, dude. I don't think people understand how he's playing at an MVP level, like a legitimate. Yeah. If the Lakers somehow finish second in the West, Shea's probably gonna get it. The scoring numbers are crazy. He had another 50-point game. They're number 1 by 11 games.
11 games.
So it's probably Shea's to lose. I think he'd probably have to get hurt at this point, honestly. Knock on wood, but he's probably going to win. But LeBron's got a very strong case. I know they have Luka now, which is just nuts. But the Lakers are playing. They're 8-2 the last 10 games. They've won 6 in a row. They've got some of the best, point differentials and scoring and all that stuff, net ratings. But yeah, we'll look back on this, especially if the Lakers win a title. We'll look back and be like, man, what if Kyrie and AD would have stayed healthy for a hot second? Probably, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. And fucking Suns, dude, are 4 games back of the 10th spot.
The Mavericks, yeah.
No one's talking about that.
No.
That the Suns just suck, dude. They're 2-8 in the last 10 games.
No, that team was they had a nucleus. Bro, they keep bringing up.
They were the second team in the West, right?
Yes. They they went to the championship.
Yeah, 2 years ago they were the 4th seed in the West. Actually they were the 5th seed, but nonetheless, like, they blew that team up for no reason.
Yeah. But a couple of things that I did wanted to bring up over here. Kind of the first one is the Wizards. So number one, the Wizards suck. But they were talking about Cooper Flag. They said Cooper Flag is they're saying, should Cooper Flag stay and threaten not to go to the Wizards or the Hornets? And someone said, listen, it doesn't matter if Cooper Flag comes here or not. We're still going to be a bad team. Like,
yeah, I saw that. We're still going to again, dude. He's not like that.
There is no player It's just the culture here. You have to get rid of so much upper management for it to change.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't matter. You can go through coaches, doesn't matter. Players, it doesn't. 11 games. The Cavaliers don't even have that many losses.
Right. Yes.
The Cavaliers have more wins than the Wizards have losses. I don't know what's more surprised. The Cavaliers have more losses less losses than the Wizards have wins. I don't really know, but the Wizards are not good.
They are some shit.
So that's the first thing.
They are some ass.
I got a question for you because a lot of people have been going back and forth with this.
Yeah.
And I want your take. So, as a basketball fan, who is the better player? Prime Boogie or prime Joel Embiid?
I would say, oh man, probably prime. Are we talking like MVP? Joel Embiid?
Your definition of prime?
Yeah, I'd probably say Embiid.
Okay.
Oh, man, it's so good. It's so tough though. I don't know. Prime Boogie was a problem.
Yeah,
he was a problem.
My only the difference I would say is they played in two different eras almost in terms of big men, because Boogie was your old school big man. Boogie was not doing as many threes. He did shoot outside, but Joel Embiid loves outside almost more than he likes the inside. And then on the flip side, if you needed anything inside of that paint, you knew who was going to give it to you. It didn't matter who was playing against them. But it just sucks because both of them have been rivaled by injuries. Like, that's been their careers.
Boogie Cousins' best season was 27, 11, and 4.5 assists with a steal and a block. He played 72 games that year. Only shot 45% from the field. Averaged 36% from three. Now let's see.
Dang.
And he was a 4-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA.
He was really?
Yeah, he played for the Pelicans. So he played for the Kings mostly, obviously, and they were just dog shit.
That's another one.
Yeah.
When he signed to the Golden State Warriors.
Him and AD together would have been a problem too.
They said that. They said the year that they had both of them together, if they could have been healthy and kept it together, that could have been a problem.
Yeah. Embiid, 7-time All-Star, obviously 5-time All-NBA, 3-time All-Defense, has an MVP. His best season when he finished when he won the MVP was 33 a game, 10 points, 4 boards, a steal, and 2 blocks. Also a problem though. But he played. Most he's played this season is 68 games, which is not a lot. Never mind. That's a lot, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. So it's honestly a toss-up. Like, when people said it, my big thing is whoever's saying, "Oh, it's a runaway for this team." It's not really a runaway, but it also tells you what era of basketball people watched more when it came to that. So that was kind of my main thing over there. Honestly, what you got for everyone?
Yeah, I had to go to water park this last weekend. And you don't have kids, so I don't know if you've ever been to an indoor water park, but
it's annoying.
Yeah, it's just look, my kids had fun. My kids had a great time. We went with another family and their 2 kids. The daughter loves Mason, and her birthday was recently, and they're in the same grade and all that kind of stuff. I have my opinions, but I'm not here to judge a couple of 6 and 8-year-olds, but I will, obviously. And they're just it's just not a good environment. There's way too many people. Again, my kids were awesome. They never had meltdowns. My kids pretty much know right from wrong, and they know how to act in public. We'll say that. They know how to act in public and be normal human beings. I'm not saying we're Hall of Fame parents, but compared to the people that I saw there, incredible parents.
Heck, yes.
First ballot Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Just you've seen it. These kids just run all over the parents. Parents have no control whatsoever. Kids are just all over the place. We didn't have any electronics with us. There's no need to bring that because you're at the pool. So, but there's kids
good.
there. Parents just let them chill, right next to them, on the iPad or on the Switch or whatever. Why even bother coming? The other thing with everything is so expensive there. We bought kid chicken nuggets. I got a burger. Brooke got a burger. Got fries. $50. $50 they got me for. At a normal restaurant, it's probably 30, 35. We had to do we did mini golf, $20 a person or $20 per round. I did it with both kids. Brooke and Mia did some climbing thing. That was 30. You got to buy some other shit. Got to buy some souvenirs and whatnot. It's just loud. Just so many people. Only good thing was it was an hour away. It was in Perryville. So
when you said that, I thought you went to Williamsburg.
No. It was a quick, it's right at 95. Very quick hour, very quick drive. So that was dope. That made things a lot better. But I don't need to go back. I am going on a Disney cruise in May with some of our friends. Man,
oh my god,
I have very mixed emotions about that. We have a ways to go before that, but we'll get there. But yeah, water park. I'm good. I don't need to do it anymore. I hate those things, but kids had fun, so it doesn't matter. What you got?
All right, so I would compare the way Steven appreciates and enjoys golf is kind of how I enjoy bowling and pool, like billiards. So my brother and I usually go a good amount of the time. My brother owns his own ball. He used to be in a league in bowling, so he does some random spins and tricks. I can spin it, but this man, so he's right-handed, and there were 2 pins on the right side. I said, all right, how are you going to get them? You're right-handed. How are you going to hit those 2? This man did a reverse spin, so the ball went this way and hit the pins. So I said all that to say, Steven brings up his score when he goes to play golf. So my highest score that I hit in bowling, I got a 191. Oh, wow. And I should have hit a 200, but in the last frame, I left 2 pins instead of being a spare. Was pissed. So now I have to live with,
What does your brother usually score?
So
my dad. So it's a funny story. My dad and my uncle both used to be firefighters, and they were in a fireman's league every week, right? And it's just a bunch of you've been to state college, you've seen these guys, a bunch of middle-aged Central Pennsylvania white guys drinking a bunch of Yingling, and this is when you could still smoke inside.
Oh yeah.
I mean, bro, my dad would come home and we'd go pick them up or whatever, and they'd all be just hammered, just lit up, right? But they were bowling 250, 260. Cracking. My dad was an elite bowler until he blew his back out. Yeah. It was nuts, dude. I've never seen it before. My uncle could spin it and do all that stuff. But you're sure your brother's in the 200s, right?
So he said he's hit 200 before. Right now, he's in the 180 on the high. But the annoying part about golf or bowling and stuff, you almost play to your competition sometimes.
Yeah, all the time.
And it's if you're playing with people that can't even crack 100, you're not going to be in the zone for you to get close to 200.
Facts.
So me playing with my brother, we can always go, and I know he's at least cracking 100 regardless.
It's so funny you say that because that happens all the time when I play golf with people.
Yes.
All the time.
Yeah.
If I play with BJ, we tear it up because we're the same. We're about the same. That's why I hate playing with random people, because bowling you don't really play with random people, obviously.
No.
You usually go with a group or you're in a league, but golf you can get paired with somebody, and it's I hate that. I always after the first hole, I'm always yo, you can go ahead. I'm not playing with your ass anymore. I've done it. I do it whenever I get paired with someone, because you have no idea what they're gonna play like. Now, if it's a foursome and you have one of those scenarios, I'll play it out. But I'd rather just leave. I'm not doing that. I hate that. You don't know what they're gonna be like, and then if they're not good, you gotta deal with that shit for the whole round.
The whole time.
At least when you play with one of your boys or whatever, bowling or golf, at least if they're ass, y'all can joke about it.
Yes.
We all play with people who are not good at bowling, not gonna go off. They're just there to crush some drinks and have a good time, and like they're ass at whatever it is, but like they're the homies. So like you can give them shit about them. Like they know they're ass. But like if you try and play with the person who thinks they're good and they're ass, that's the
annoying part. That's the annoying part. So annoying. So that's one. The other thing is, I would say next month around this time, we're going to be doing 2am in Sweden again because I got to go back out there.
Wow.
So we're going to do that. Don't worry, guys. We'll be better on with time. I will not miss trains and sleep on trains this time. So we'll be solid. Finally, I got another text earlier today. So one of my friends lives in San Diego. And for anyone that knows geographical location, I'm not going to tell you, but you can just assume when I tell the story. He said, yo, what are you doing for Cinco de Mayo? I was like, I can come out there. So your boy's going to be going out to San Diego. And then that's what we're going to end up doing. So yeah, the weekend will be in San Diego. If you know what else is right around San Diego, you know how the time will end up being there. Other than that, that's it for this week. Until next weekend, we out.
Peace.